Here's Caleb. He started slow, and we're like, it's okay, you're a rookie. Then he got hot. Yep. And last 3 games, the passer rating of 65 is the worst in the NFL. Do the Bears have a Caleb Williams problem?
No, he's the least of their problems, but let me be very clear. He's not playing well. That trajectory is exactly right, Wilds. First few games, brutal stats, few flashes.
Yeah.
Next 3 games, probably better stats than he deserved. Like, he played really well, but you pointed out it was the 3 worst pass defense in the league, but still.
Yep.
And then he played poorly, and the offense was brutal in the Washington game. But then they stole it at the end, and then the Hail Mary happened, and then since then the team has appeared just irrevocably broken. And so I am not flip-flopping on Caleb Williams. I think every single one, as high as you were on Jaden, I think all 4 of us said he was the consensus #1 pick. I still think that was the right pick. Yeah. I know other people might already be ready to change. I still think he is going to be a great player. I think he is not good enough yet to fix their structural problems, which are so pervasive from he's been sacked the 5th most of any player ever through 10 games of a season. And it's like, he's holding on the ball too long. His average time to pass is quicker than Bo Nix, barely, but it is. And Nick's been sacked half the times. The offensive line's been a disaster. The offensive scheme's been a disaster. The defense seems to have quit on the coach post Hail Mary and the explanations for it. So the whole thing's a disaster. I think Caleb Williams is going to be great. Obviously, this year's been a massive disappointment for a team that I think was a coin flip in Vegas to make the playoffs. So that's my answer. If everyone else wants to say he's a bust, that's fine.
Are you coming off the Super Bowl pick?
I'll get to that in a moment.
Okay. Let's talk about this. So I agree with Nick that I still think Caleb Williams will be great, but Caleb Williams does deserve some blame for how this is all unfolding. He doesn't deserve the bulk of the blame, but to say that he's the least of their problems, that's not really fair either, because just look at what Drake May did, honestly. I mean, let's not act like Drake May was in this great structure with the Patriots, with great weapons, great coaching. He doesn't have any of that. Yet he looks way more comfortable. And so if we're saying that Caleb Williams isn't good enough to overcome some of these structural issues, then why is Drake May able to? Right? That to me is part of some of the issues. And even when things are going well, when there is a clean pocket and there are people open, Caleb Williams is just poorly executing. So again, we can point out to some of these other issues that Caleb Williams is having, and we can blame the coaching staff, the O-line, whatever it may be. And that's all true too, but multiple things can be true, right? Everybody has blame. So to completely throw Caleb Williams away to the side and say, well, we can't blame him at all, I don't think that's really entirely fair either. Now, him being a rookie and him playing for a team that is honestly quite exceptional at not supporting him, he does deserve grace, right? He absolutely, and calling him a bust is insane. Right? Like 9 games into the season, we're just going to go off and call someone a bust. Like that's absurd. That's truly absurd. But there are red flags, undeniably. And the reality also with Bo Nix, or with Caleb Williams more than anything, is that he doesn't just need a good coordinator and some good weapons and an O-line. He needs actually like a good coach. Those aren't always the same things. He needs someone that's actually going to work with him mechanically, actually help develop him. Sometimes coordinators are there just to put their players in positions to succeed. That in a lot of ways, that's what Kevin O'Connell is doing with Sam Darnold. And in this situation, Caleb Williams actually needs to be truly developed and coached. He needs to learn and grow. And not only improve and get better week to week to week, but also be put in a position to succeed. Because even if Caleb Williams was put in a perfect situation with a great O-line, he would look significantly better. But in a lot of ways, it would just be a way to sweep up some of his issues under the rug. And quite frankly, credit to Bill Belichick. Bill Belichick pointed it out. He looked at it right there and was like, I'm seeing issues. And Nick Wright and other people ripped him and were like, what do you know about evaluating quarterbacks? And Bill Belichick was dead right. He was absolutely correct. He really was. And again, that's not based off of coordinating issues, O-line issues. That's not really the whole story. So should people be concerned, right? Do the Bears have a Caleb Williams problem? I wouldn't call it a problem. It's too strong of a word. Do they have Caleb Williams concerns? Absolutely, undeniably. Do the Bears have bigger concerns? Absolutely, undeniably. And you can there's plenty of blame to go around. Shane Waldron, the GM, ownership, right? Like, why are you running it back with Eberflus? If your O-line was really not that good, why did you not draft someone? Why didn't you draft an offensive lineman? Why did you get another wide receiver? Did you really need that? Like John Middlecoff was on Con Coward's podcast, and he said it perfectly. He goes, who do you think Andy Reid would have drafted in that draft with that O-line? He goes, oh, right. An offensive lineman. Who do you think? What about Harbaugh? Everyone ripped him for not getting a weapon. What did he do? He went out and fixed that offensive line. Right? So, like, the Bears have an issue in that regard. So, yeah, I've said this before. At this point, if you're a Chicago Bears fan, you got it's a bummer. It really is, but you got to punt the season. You punt the season. The season is a wash. It's over. It's a bummer. You want to be able to see Caleb continue to grow and get better if possible. But the coaching staff should be fired. You got to cut them all loose. You got to start from scratch, and you got to do it now. You got to do it sooner than later. You got to fix this. And you got to go out and get a true bona fide coach, an offensive head coach, one with a history of developing and working and improving quarterbacks. You got to do it. You messed this season up. That's on you. And I would treat Caleb Williams like a rookie next year. I would give him the full benefit of the doubt. I'm not going to hold someone's feet to the fire. I'm not going to hold a kid who has terrible parents. I'm not going to hold their feet to the fire and expect them to be perfectly behaved. Anyone who's ever worked with young kids would know this. Anytime you see a kid who's just like, you can just tell, oh my God, this kid's all over the place. 99.9% of the time, you can see what's going on at their home and be like, oh, this is not the best household, is it? Like almost every time. Very rarely do problematic kids come from families who are just so loving and their parents love each other and they're so supportive. Of course that can happen, but that's not the norm. So when we see a bad quarterback and we see now this franchise struggling as well, then that would be a problem. It's why someone like Brock Purdy wasn't getting the benefit of the doubt. Because you're like, well, look what this team did with Jimmy Garoppolo to get to the Super Bowl. Look what Shanahan has been able to do. Look at all these weapons. It's why it was so hard for Brock Purdy to get respect. And I understood it. I do. And it works reverse. Because everyone is the biggest comeback that I see in the comment section is everyone said that he was going in the perfect situation, the best situation ever. That is what people believed. Then we got new evidence. We got new information. It's like saying you said that the planet Earth was the center of the universe. Yeah, people thought that until they got new information. Okay? We thought that the moon was as far as we'll ever go. Now we can get to Mars. We literally send robots to Mars. Technically, if you want to keep following that logic, we can say, you said that we will only ever be able to get to the moon. Okay, well, new evidence has emerged. Why do people are so obsessed with holding on to bad takes when new evidence has come about, or that you can't change your mind? And yeah, Nick was dead wrong for saying that the Chicago Bears were going to be able to go to the Super Bowl. That was always insane. I said the only way that was happening is if Caleb Williams proves to literally be better than Patrick Mahomes, that he proves to be better than Tom Brady, that he would have to truly become the greatest quarterback of all time. And this would be his arrival from day one. That's the only way that was happening. Not happening. It's not to say that he still can't be that great. It's not to say that he still can't be a top quarterback in NFL history. But there's a lot of problems here. And the team itself has a lot of problems. And the coaching staff has a lot of problems. Ownership has a lot of problems. And Caleb Williams, unfortunately, right now, has a lot of problems. The team is a mess. we can't just, act like it's not true. There's fingers pointed at everyone. Like I referenced this before because someone said it and it was really funny. The Spider-Man meme of everyone just pointing at everyone else. That is what the Chicago Bears look like right now. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the Chicago Bears? Do you think Caleb is the fundamental issue? Let me know in the comments below. Let me know in the comments below whether you agree with me or disagree with me. Either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I'd absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much, and see you next time.